Welcome back. You're still watching SA Today. We cross now to Switzerland, where the United Nations Human Rights Council's 40th session is currently underway in Geneva. The HSRC meets against the backdrop of numerous challenges in the world that are impacting on human rights, peace and security, as well as development. For more, we're now joined on the line by our reporter Mbali Thethani, who's in Geneva. Mbali, thanks very much for joining us. Today is day one. Give us a sense of what's happening at this all-important gathering.
Yes, that's right, Peter. Of course, it is day one. This 40th high-level panel segment has officially kicked off here in Geneva in Switzerland. And various delegates and dignitaries have of course, gathered here at the United Nations, at the Human Rights Council. And, of course, this is as they discuss issues around human rights, peace, security, and development across the world. Much earlier on today, as things officially kicked off, we saw the United Nations General Secretary, Antonio Guterres, delivering the opening address. And, of course, in his speech, he mainly focused on addressing issues that still harbor the Human Rights Council, issues such as extreme poverty, disease, access to water, and of course proper sanitation, saying that these are some of the highlights, or rather the successes of the Human Rights Council since they kicked off this specific session. And he also then, Peter, highlighted some of the challenges that the Human Rights Council still faces, and of course centering this around gender equality. We do know that this specific country much earlier on last week was dealing with the case of Caster Semenya. So that is something that they were highlighting around issues of gender equality. We are expecting the Deputy Minister, Llewellyn Landers, who is of course here in Geneva. He is expected to address a segment much later on. We are expecting him to touch on some of the successes that South Africa has seen since being part of this Human Rights Council.
All right, so we've got representatives in the form of our Deputy Minister there. I thought I saw an image of the Executive Chairperson of the African Union. Is there quite a bit of African representation at this gathering?
Yes, there is, Peter. We have about 13 countries from Africa. They are expected to participate in more engagements, which are, of course, taking place tomorrow. The African Union is also represented here. They will also be part of that specific session that is happening tomorrow, because we do know that Africa is also mainly highlighted in terms of issues of human rights. It's something that we have been trying to deal with on the African continent for quite some time now. So we are expecting to hear really grilling sessions in that segment that will take part tomorrow.
Tell us what generally happens with this kind of gathering. Are resolutions passed? Is there something that they take away and say from today this is what we hope to do? Or is more a sharing of information and knowledge?
Peter, it is trying to address some of the challenges that we face as a world, the problems that people around the world are faced with. So it is one of those conferences where they come together and they try and address the social ills that people are faced with, access to proper health care. And after that, it is a session where world leaders and dignitaries who are here, they sit down and they try and find solutions. We know that it's also been criticized, saying that it is just a number of dignitaries coming together and it's just a talk shop. But they have seen successes in various places, and they've also sort of highlighted, saying that they actually do admit, saying that there are still challenges that they are faced with.
All right, Mbali, that's where we're going to leave it for the time being. Thanks very much indeed. And stay warm. I know that Switzerland at this time of the year isn't the warmest place in the world. That's our reporter Mbali Thethani following the UNHCR's gathering, 40th session in Geneva in Switzerland. And certainly one of the countries that will be discussed is Venezuela. We believe that as many as 120 reports on a wide range of issues will be discussed at this gathering, but we'll keep you up to date on that. Coming up.